Hello all, welcome back to the second lecture of SOC. So in the previous lecture, we learned about what is the key map of SOC and what all major components are being required to understand the SOC environment. So we shall move to the next step, which is introduction to SOC. So this is a block diagram which we can see of an interface. So this interface is being broken into some segments. So we shall start with the DRAM. We already know what is DRAM, and as we can see, this DRAM is being connected in a bidirectional way with the communication protocols and with the bridging of RAM and special peripherals. So before going to the deep hierarchy, like what is DRAM interface, what is processor of ARM, control processor ARM, so we shall basically understand the communication protocol which we are having. So we'll start with this Ethernet block. So Ethernet block is a port in which we used to put LAN cable. So to have a internet connection or any of the local network which we want to establish within a system. So you have seen that in the buildings we are having Ethernet blocks, and Ethernet blocks which is being connected to the LAN cards, and we can have a different way communications from one system to another system within a building. Then second comes with the USB block. So we all know USB. So USB is a type of a block in which we used to put some information via any media, that can be pen drive or that can be any other wired connection, from which we establish a communication so that our data can be transferred. Then further we have this UART. UART means asynchronous receiver and transmitter, universal asynchronous receiver and transmitter. So over here UART is established between a single channel. So for the examples, the single channel communication are being set up in mouse connections when we are connecting our mouse with the computer systems and connecting keyboard with the computer systems as well. So this is one-on-one channel over which we can attain a communication. Then comes with the PCI bus. So PCI bus is a bus in which we use the internal architecture in communication of whole the computer system. So PCI is majorly used in inbuilt connection for communication of processors, graphic cards, audio drivers, display, and etc. etc. So these are the PCI bus which is being used to connect the interface within the microprocessor or the controller. Then we are having this microcontroller style GPIO. Moving on to the further, there is a DRAM which is being connected to the DRAM interface. So this interface, this particular whole block is responsible for communication of this network, this communication network which we are attaining from the Ethernet, USB, serial line, PCI bus to the bridging of this whole internal architecture, or we can say like we are having some peripheral functions in which we are having some pins, input and output pins, by which we can drive the signals. We can connect the sensors over here, because we know the sensors used to produce analog type of a feedback. So there we are having sensors to connect with the system, and then we are having audio connection from left and right audio, so that we are using in the mobile phones when we are connecting our jack into 3.5 slots, and as well as this slot is also available in computer systems. So this technology is typically uses 70 to 140 nanometer of silicon. So this is very majorly being used in each and every device, each and every type of a communication, whether we talk in terms of RF signal communication or mobile applications or microprocessors, any device which is related, which is having some complex function, that is consisting of SoC, that is system on chip. So we shall move what is SoC to in different part. As we have already discussed that SoC is containing many different blocks inside it. So this first figure is the whole overview which we are seeing as a physical from the naked eyes. Then we have studied what all types of blocks are there, and then we can see that there is more complex structure, or I can say it is a zoomed version of the above previous one. So how the communication is being setting up within internal environment. So talking about to the multi-layer AHB matrix, AHB is a type of a IP or protocol which AMBA has given for the communication between different blocks to the different block. So suppose we are having this, there is a communication in which there is a master slave communication. So there can be a master who is indicating that data has to be transmitted, and a master is there which accepts the data and performs the logical operation according to it. Okay, so for more, I'll just explain you with the diagram. So if I talk about AHB, so I'll just make a basic block diagram. Okay, so this is a AHB block. Then this is a master and this is a slave we are having over here. So master is having some signals, like we can say write signal we are having. Okay, then we are having this write address, then we are having read. Okay, so and along with this thing we are having some more signal which provide handshaking mechanism. So what is handshaking mechanism? There are certain signals in which when master is going to ask from the slave whether the slave is ready to accept the data, then only the transition will going to process in this whole diagram. So we just roll back to the basic diagram. What is that? So this is the AHB layer matrix which we are using over here. So okay, so this is all about the SoC environment. So we shall discuss about the signals which we are having. So this system controller is having some input signals. Okay, so this the specification is being given in this file. So there is a hardware design flow which we can say this is a front end and this is a back end. Okay, so if I talk about to the front end, so front end uses RTL architecture in which we are just actually designing the logics using logic gates. Okay, there are different styling syntax in which we use, which the RTL engineer uses. So RTL engineer uses a Verilog type of a coding in which it is he used to code in different styles. So we are having this three types of signals. So first type of signal is first type of modeling is structural gate level modeling. Okay, first type of modeling in the Verilog is this is first type of modeling is gate level. Then we are having structural. Then we are having behavioral. So the RTL engineer is responsible for designing the RTL code in three different languages. Usually we used to create in a behavioral model which uses a sample of the clock for construction of whole the block. So let us just discuss about more about it. So as we can see, there are different DMA controllers over here. So DMA is like uh, it is being connected to the LCD. It is being connected to the different channels. Okay, so there is also a memory like this is a static memory. Static means like it is having some defined range over which it can work. Then we have flash controllers, NAND based. So NAND gate, we all know what is NAND gate. So NAND gate is like reverse of ending. And then we are having DDR and SDRAM over there. Okay, so this whole block is being divided into different sections. So here basically in this whole part it has been explained who is the engineer who is responsible for making the architecture of the SOC environment. So RTL engineer is responsible and it comes under the front end rule. So what is front end rule? If we talk about the front end rule, front end is the rule in which like we just have to process the mechanism logically, and we have to make sure that it has been processed in a correct way. So moving on to looking onto this diagram, how this so I'll just tell you how this SOC environment is being created. Okay, so it requires certain processes. So basically this whole SOC is not being built in a physical way, it is being tested in virtual manner. So how we are going to make that? So basic programming language which RTL engineer uses. So what is the flow over there? So it is having some architectural model whatever model we are going to assign. Then we are having some then system architecture design. Okay, then accordingly it will going to create the code like we are using this C and C++ programming language. So separately Verilog in this electronics we are having a separate language which is known as hardware description language, which uses Verilog type of structure to create the logical and the behavior of the each and everything. Then we have like there is like HLS, so high level synthesis. Synthesis is a process in which we are going to check whether the our design constraints, design condition are properly being established or not. So let us just take an example for the behavioral. So behavioral condition, from the word itself we know this thing. Behavioral is like we are checking the behavior of the architecture. So how we are going to check the behavior? So we have a special syntax which is being used by always at the rate at the posage of clock. Pause edge. Edge means we are sampling the values on the edge cycle. So if we just see this, so if I create this clock over here, so this is the clock which I'm creating. So this point is known as edge. Okay, if the point is rising, so that means it's pause edge. If the point is falling downwards, so this is neg edge. Okay, then we are having this level. Okay, this this is known as level. So we already know that uh, the difference between latches and flip-flop flip-flop are being sampled at the pausage of the clock, and latches are like on the they are level triggered. Okay, so basically we are not using latches and we are more giving preference to the flip flops like SR flip flop, JK flip flop, T flip flop, D flip flop. That's how we are going to create the our architecture. So whatever, if we are talking about the flip flops, then it is going to sample at the posage or the negage of the flop. So let us just look back. So behavioral RTL logic uses always statement and in a posage sample to trigger the value. Then there is a structural model I told you about. There are the three different styles. Okay, so there are three different styles in which we are making the code. So first is gate level, then structural, then behavioral, then these are the three basic parameter on which we are working. So I have talked about the behavioral. Behavioral will be using always block. Then we are having the structural level. Structural level is will be using some assign statements. Okay, so basically this structural level is being mentioned in a different way. So this is not structural. This is like gate level modeling, which the book is showing. So this is not a structural. The structural is using some assigns keyword. Then we are having this layout design. So after processing all these steps, these are the processes which we have to make sure that each and every step should be passed and should pass this quality test. Or we can say like in a factory we are having different sections. Like first the product is being manufactured, then there is a different section to monitor whether the product is being correctly being manufactured, it is not having some defect. Then it goes to the packaging one. So we can say like this is RTL synthesis is the packaging one, like the proper packaging should be there. Then we are having this layout. So in what layout the product is being assembled, what should be it should be in design. Then it should be in annotated, then it should be delivered to some different sections. So this is how all the process is going to happen in the SOC environment. Similarly, if we take an example like for a chocolate factory, so I'll just explain you with a small example. So how the chocolate factory is going to work in this. So let us assume there are different sections. Here, the raw chocolate is there, and this is the freezing freezing area. Then we are having this assembly area over here. Then we are having this uh, then collection area over here. Then we are having this packaging area. Then we are having this like dispatch area. So we can see there are multiple stages from which a product has to be passed. So if in case if I just take we are having a hot chocolate over here, like this is a machine which is producing a hot chocolate. Then after being cascaded to the and different designs, then it is being freezed, and then after that it is being going to the assembly, like whatever the structures are there we have to assemble in different ways. Then it is going to this collection. Okay, we are going to collect different samples of each and every chocolate whatever being produced in past three states. Then we are having this packaging. So the these all different chocolates are being packed into different boxes. Then it is being going to the dispatch. So this is all about all I shared about the true conditions. So now let us consider whether like if one of the chocolate is like not being produced properly. So over here we can see that like after preparation of like chocolates, the chocolate are not being freezed properly and it has been sent to the assembly area. So what will it going to happen? It will resend back to the raw area over where it will going to melt again and will it going to freeze again. Okay, so if we are finding that we are not having a proper collection, so proper collection of all the chocolates we are having, so we'll go back to the assembly area, then we'll collect the required chocolates, whichever being are being which are being in a shortage. Then we can have then what we can have then we can proceed further for the packing one. So if we find that like there are less number of boxes over here and we required more number of packaging, so then we can go to the collection and then we can collect the desired chocolates, and that's how we are going to work. So similar process is like in the SOC environment only. So first we are creating the RTL logic, and the RTL logic is being created. Okay, so RTL logic is being created over here. with a high level synthesis. And then we are having three different types of modeling. So it's a totally optional in which type of modeling we have to prefer this. And then we have behavioral, RTL synthesis, structural, and fabrication. This is all about the designing and manufacturing of the flow of SOC environment. Okay, now let us check whether okay, so once we are completed with this whole diagram, whole manufacturing, then I have discussed in my example that there is a quality management system. Okay, so this is a quality management system over where we are able to find that okay, that this chocolate is not being freeze, so it will go back to again raw material section. If the assembly is not good, so it will again go back to the raw material. So likewise, we are also having some similar structure which used to check the properties of different blocks. So this is a mechanism in which through assertions are basically a statement condition in which we are going to check whether the condition is being passed or fail. Okay, then what we are having this formal verification. Formal verification, we are also going to check whether the conditions are being satisfying or not. Okay, so then we are having this formal again we will go with the formal verification just to verify whether all the previous one or all the testing of the codes are being completely been fully nurtured. Okay, so this is all about the design and manufacturing and flow of the SOC environment. So now here it has been told we'll study about the selected IP intellectual which is being providers for all the functional blocks, and it will be easy for us to freshly write each and everything. So basically, I already told you like RTL uses a simple basic syntax like similar we are having C and C++. So it is having its own language, but the syntax is somewhat related to C and C++. Okay, then we are having this backend. So after RTL synthesis, the code is being processed to the different sections over where they are being assigned to implement that logic in a physical interface. Okay, so like creating of hardwares or something else. So we can just have a brief of it, like what is backend use we are using over here, and levels of modeling. How many levels of abstraction modeling are there? There is functional modeling. Okay, output of the simulation runs in an accurate way. That's how we are going to check whether whatever the fabrication we have made after completing the RTL code, so that code is needed to be generated in the PCB. Okay, so it has been converted to some of the ICs or logic. So we have to check whether the functionality of the modeling is working or not. So there we are going to check the output behavior. Then we are having memory accurate modeling. Then contents and layout of the memory is accurate or not. Then we are using this TLM ports transaction then we are having this different there are different TLM blocks which we are using. So TLM blocks is used for communication of different modules within inside the block. Then we are having this cycle accurate labeling modeling. What is cycle accurate labeling modeling? I told you that if we have to sample something, okay, I have drawn I have created a structure. So like any design which is needed to be checked, it is checked on the basis of the sampling only. So how we are going to check? We are going to create a clock for that, and that clock is being we are checking the mechanism. Okay, how long it will be going. So let us take an example. We all are having some examination over there in colleges and schools. So the duration we are being allotted. Okay, so this in the particular 3 hours or 2 hours you have to complete the test. So that's the point. We are checking ourselves whether we are able to complete on time or not. So in the similar way, this the every code, every logic is being created over here with the response of clock. Then we are having event level modeling. Event is like basically when an event is being triggered, so it is being going to process the some of the input and output meters. So I'll just explain. more about events. So events is like basically a type of a syntax in which we provide, okay, whether the condition is being triggered or not. Okay, now let us just take an example. Okay, I'll just try to explain in a layman language. Okay, so let us suppose this is a boy, and this boy is having birthday on 4th of June, and he invited his friend. Okay, he has three friends over there. Okay, so one can be Karthik, another is Jetli, and another one is like, okay, anyone we can take. Okay, Alpha we can take. Okay, so this particular boy has invited his three of his friends to come to his home, and then we can have the celebration over here. So how we are going to, how in this condition, this boy has declared an event. Okay, so event is like he's having birthday on 4th of June. Then he has given the invitation to all of the three friends. So now when 4th of June will appear on the calendar, then this event will going to happen as soon as all of these three friends will going to come to this to his home to celebrate his birthday, right? So at that time, that event, we can say it is being triggered, like it is happening. So what we can say in short, event is a mechanism in which when the condition is being fulfilled, here condition is like on the 4th of June, when the condition is being fulfilled, then only it will going to trigger that event, then will it will going to happen. So if in suppose they all three land up to his place on 3rd June, so this event will not occur because this event requires a specific criteria, which is 4th of June. I hope this is little bit clear to you, what are events and how I have connected, how events are being connected to the structural modeling in the SOC environment. So there are some certain conditions, like we can just take an example, unlocking of phone. So as soon as we put the correct code for our phone, so then only the then only the phone will going to open. Before that, if we like, if we suppose if the phone password is like 1234, and if I am just pressing 5432, so it will not going to open my phone. Okay, so this is the simplest example. As soon as the event is matching that particular condition, as soon as I'm putting my password of the phone is 1234, then only the event is going to trigger, then only the application or the phone will going to open or unlock, I can say. So this is all about the event modeling. So this is very, very crucial for all of you to understand what are the different types of modeling and how you have to memorize the logic. So I have made this session like very, very in a simple language, so that it will be easy for you to understand and you can just have a relation with that. I hope it is good. So now we are having this logical symbol. Okay, so this is like schematic diagram. So we can observe that, like if we are putting a as in 0, y we are getting 1, and if we are putting 1, then we are getting the reverse of it, which is 0. So we can clearly observe from this that this is the logical NOT gate. So this is the schematic diagram, and this is the manufacturing diagram which we are going to see, it is being developed on the physical layer. Okay, so there are the different levels of abstraction. So this is the diagram which we are going to see, and this is the physical diagram over which like we are going to see on the PCB. Okay, so then we'll discuss about the basic component of associate environment. So first of all, we have to understand that the block has been divided whole into two different segments. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about the digital. So we know this thing, we are having some sequential circuits and we are having some combinational circuits. So combinational circuits, what we can say, we are having mux, demux, encoder, decoder, parity encoder. So all of them are uh, combinational circuits. Okay, if I talk about sequential circuits are flip flop. Okay, so which is in which like clock is being reused. So this is the whole SOC environment uses both of the logic. Okay, so what we can say, you can just have a look at the microprocessor over here. I'll just zoom it for you. Okay, so this is a logical symbol. Then we are having data address. Okay, H, HRAN and WN and acknowledge. Okay, so similar diagram I have created for the AMBA AHB. Okay, so you can see like I have created some write address, read and hand checking mechanism. So basically it is similar to that only. So this is like all three signals HRAN, HW and acknowledge are the hand checking signals. Unless they are being going to high, then only the data and the address line will going to send or receive the information. So we are having a standard clock, system clock, and then we are having a reset function, then we are having a interrupt request. Okay, so let us just have a close look of the internal diagram, how it is happening. So we can see mux is like a diagram. Okay, mux is a combinational circuit which we are using. Okay, so whenever the port, it is dependent upon the select line. Okay, and then we are having this ALU, arithmetic logical unit. Okay, in which like there is some addition, subtraction, whatever the thing we are assigning, so it can establish that. Then we can have down to it, then this lab has been divided into two sections: execution lab, over where whatever the process are being executed, then we have a control unit. So control unit is responsible for decoding the logics what we are using, and whatever the execution of the statements are there, then we are using in this control section. So if we say, if we are having this address bus, okay, so we got this address bus from the here, and this execution is only, the execution will be done only when the control signal allows it to process. Okay, so in simple language, this is the whole, area which has been divided into two sections: execution and control unit. So we can take an example of our home as well. So like execution is like father and control unit is like mother. Okay, so our mother used to manage each and everything in our home. Okay, whatever the thing is, that management part is there, control part is there in the home, and execution part is only responsible by the father only. Okay, so once the control unit give the access, okay, you have to do that. Okay, it's not like that like only or every time like control unit is only responsible for that. Like it should have a mutual connection, which I said like handshaking mechanism. Unless both of these stand on the same line, then only the condition will going to execute. Before that, it will not going to happen. Okay, so you can just have a look at it. So devices is a bus master, initiator, bus transition, and make loads and read, assert, host, and read enable HRAN. HRAN I told you, HRAN and HWN. So write, enable, and like host enable. Okay, this is a read section. Okay, so like over this we are having different signals, one for the read and one for the write. We are having different ports. So that's how we can execute. Now we have studied that like we are having some decoded chip enabled signals that are being connected to the peripheral such as RAM, ROM, UART. So UART is, I already told you, UART is a universal asynchronous and receiver transmitter. So I hope till here everything is clear, and I have made clear about the basic architecture of the SOC and the connection which are being established in the connection internally in the CPU. Okay, so CPU, what is it is having, it is being divided into execution part and the control unit. Then we are having this like logic gate, how what is the, this is a digital part in which we are checking the truth table. This is the logical symbol, this is the schematic diagram, this is the polygon signal. Okay, so this is how we are going to take this. Now going to like, this is a two things are there, back end and front end. Okay, now let us just have a look at the canonical or the microarchitecture. Okay, so okay, so we shall discuss this memory map. Okay, so basically this is a Verilog type of a coding which is being used to chip map the memory mapping. So here we are having a basic syntax which is using module and end module, under where we have to decide the name of it, and then we are declaring the signals. So input signal is bus and the output signal is RAM UART. And we are using this assign statement. Okay, so assign statement, I told you that assign statement uses structural type of a modeling. Okay, so structural type of a modeling which is being used. Okay, then we are having behavioral. So behavioral using always. So here we are using assign statements. Okay, so to execute the memory map, then what we are doing, we are assigning bus A bus to 00, A bus to 01, A bus to 10, and this is all the not of condition. Okay, so that's how we are creating the memory map using RTL logic. And if some of you are aware of the Verilog language, so it will be more easy for you, or you can just have a look. Okay, so this is all about the basics. Okay, now we are having this ROM. ROM is like read only memory. Okay, then we are having RAM. RAM is a like volatile, and ROM is read only memory. Okay, and how it is being created, it is being used created by different switches implementation. Okay, flash RAM ROM is there. Okay, it is using some USB stick and SD cards. These are known as like some flash type of a memory. Okay, as soon as we are going to trigger the power, it will going to save, and just when we remove the USB or SD card from the device, so there is no power, but the data is being saved monetarily. So that's, we can say that's a flash type of a memory. Basic micro architecture controller is like we are having this, all we are using micro phone, and we are having this chip like SIM card over here. So you can clearly observe that there are different sections in the this SIM card. Okay, so this SIM card having ground, VCC, reset, clock, and then we are having this input and output signals. So this is how the whole what I can say, this is the basic microcontroller architecture happens like that. So SIM is basically a microcontroller only, or a type of a microcontroller I can say, because it is having all the necessary input and output signals which are being required to complete that. Then what is that? Reader VCC power. Okay, so VCC means like this we have to put the power. Then this is a reset module. Okay, so reset works whenever we are going to reset our phone. So at that particular condition, our SIM card also get reset. So we have sometimes seen that whenever our signal is not uh, easily available, or like we are not able to see the signal strength. So what we are going to do, we are just going to restart the phone, and we just take the SIM card and just rub and clean the connectors over here. So these are the connectors. So I hope some of you are aware how to clean the connector. So basically we have to remove the SIM card, and then you have to clean the, so whatever the like carbon is being deposited, so it will going to clean. Then again we are able to use it with a full efficiency. Then we are having switch LED interface and UART devices. So UART devices is being explained over here. So UART is a like I told you that UART uses like one-on-one communication. So this is a VGA type of a port which we are using in the to connect our monitors. Okay, so everybody have seen this type of a connector in the computers and the back of it. So this uses like UART type of a communication. So UART is basically universal asynchronous receiver and transmitter, which is not dependent on the clock, and we can say that it uses only single channel communication. So you can see that your mouse wire, your this VGA connector is having only single wire, and every possible communication is being established from that wire only. So this is the basic block diagram of the UART. So we are having this different pins over here. So address pin, W pin, read data pin, interrupt pin, and these are the handshaking signals. And the output is being connected to the voltage converters, and then this is the whole VGA converter, we can say two-way connectors, and then it is being controlled by the baud rate. So how the like how the examination is going to happen. So this is the basic typical diagram of all the points and all the functionality whatever this connector is using. Okay, so parallel port pin connector. Okay, this is the name of that. Then we are having this whole UART design in the Verilog, so we are going to decide. So I hope this whole design is not necessary to cover right now. So theoretically, you just have to understand in UART what all important parameters are there. Okay, and like address channel uses to store the address, and wherever we are assigning the address, the data is being stored to that particular location. Then if we have to read the data, so what we can use, we can just directly call the address, then we can just have a look at it, whatever data is being stored. So for example, if I take, for example, just to make it more clear, what we can assume that suppose this is a colony, okay, and there are different houses, okay, and the houses are having address like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So these are the addresses, and under the addresses, suppose like this home belong to uh, Arif, okay, this home belongs to Ajay, this home belongs to Ravi, and this home belong to Kalyan, this home belongs to Deepak. So so these are like similar syntax. You can assume that okay, 6 7 8 like different peoples are having. So this is the all about the address, and over the address we are seeing that okay, in the first address Arif is staying, in the second address Ajay is staying, or vice versa we can say okay, Kalyan is staying at the third address, okay, Deepak is staying at the fifth address. So this is how we are going to check the like input and output parameters where we are establishing the communication. I hope it is good till here. So this is the all about the RTL logic, okay, how the waveforms are being triggered. So there is a multiple data, that's why we can see multiple crosses over here, connections. So this is a request signal is a acknowledgement, okay, like whenever the data is needed to be transferred, the request signal is going to get high, whether like it is going to give the permission, okay, now the transaction can happen. Then acknowledge is the like the signal. Once the data is being fully being transferred, then the acknowledge signal will going to give a high, okay, whether this transaction has been completed or not. Till the acknowledgement is not being put to the high signal, unless then till then we can consider the data is being transferred. As soon as we see okay, the acknowledge signal is high, so we can just clearly have a look, we can just have a clear look at it. Okay, this is the whole logic, this is the whole about whole program which we can like the data is being completely transferred or not. Okay, so this is all about the SOC environment till here. Okay, and these are the basic block diagram which using SRAM and DRAM. Okay, so you can just have a look at it, you can just read it. So it is not that much complex, so the whatever the complexity is there, so I have explained in this whole block diagram. Okay, so rest I'll cover in the next video lecture. I hope you guys like it. Thank you for hearing me. Have a good day.